Now, Good Morning Orlando again probes the mysterious world of the millennials to reveal how and what young America thinks. It's another spine-tingling journey into Yaffee World. You know, the Republicans have not done a good job of getting the lion's share of the young vote in this country for many presidential election cycles. That cost them the White House when Obama got so many young votes compared to Romney and then McCain before him. In 2016, the GOP has got to find a way to get a lot of votes from the Yaffee generation, and Yaffee has been looking into this and has got a word for the Republican Party and for all of us. And as a matter of fact, more than one word. Mike?
Well, yes, it seems that the Millennial Generation, my generation, the Yaffee generation, as we call it, is similar to the general electorate in that they are not looking for political experience.
Doesn't matter this time around. They're like everybody else. Exactly. They're saying, where is political experience and office gottenness?
Right. It's not very high on their list. The highest things on their list are character and intelligence, how level-headedness, how they do. Mm-hmm. Now, according to a Harvard Institute of Politics poll, Donald Trump is leading among millennials with 22%. Now, that is good, but you have to remember Donald Trump is getting 35% of the general electorate. So that's like almost 10 points lower than what older people are wanting with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
The very interesting thing, though, is in a statistical tie, millennials also like Ben Carson. He's getting about 20%, which is in the margin of error among millennials. Now, that's higher than the general Republican Party. Everybody is going for Ben Carson. So it seems that millennials are actually helping Ben Carson. And I was doing some more research, and CNN pointed out that one thing that Ben Carson is doing is he is reaching out to millennials. He has groups called Students for Ben Carson.
Yeah.
He reaches out to them. He goes to college campuses, and he's really actively trying to get the millennial vote. And I think that's what the Republican Party, if they're really going to want to reach millennials, they have to actually try and reach millennials. They actually have to go out and talk to them.
It's so interesting that you focused on Trump and Carson vis-a-vis your generation, the millennials, the Yaffee generation, the two youngest, strongest candidates with some political experience in elective office are Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. You would think by virtue of the contrast in their age to Hillary and Bernie Sanders, they would have great appeal to the Yaffee generation. I would hope they would at any rate.
Well, and I think they will in the future. Right now, Rubio and Ted Cruz are third and fourth among millennials. Here's the really bad news when it comes to millennials that I think helps Trump and Ben Carson.
Yeah.
Only 20% of them are actively politically engaged.
Yeah, you're the biggest generation in American history. Okay,
right.
The 18 to 34 voters, and yet you're not voting in numbers. You're not using the power that you have.
Yeah, and they're not really paying attention. So if you have only 20% of millennials really paying attention at this point, it's easy to see why maybe a Donald Trump could get some because the name recognition.
Yep.
So, and by the way, a special announcement. If you want a full hour of Yaffee World, I will be on WFLA tonight at 8 p.m. Tonight on WFLA, special edition of my show Beyond Reason Radio. And we'll take a look at what is going on in Yaffee World.
Join us next time for another illuminating journey into the mind of the millennials in Yaffee World.